Test, test. 1, 2, 3. Football. And a Shinedown concert. It's story time with Chris. Welcome to Storytime with Chris. For the first time ever, you should be seeing me if everything is going to plan and if you're watching this on YouTube. So, what's up? I just wanted to hop on here because I am in the process of testing some things with the podcast, including video. Eventually, I would like to get to the point where this is it includes an audio and video version of the podcast. And I'm also recording out in my living room because one of the goals when I started this podcast was to have a mobile setup. So basically, if I needed to go somewhere to, meet a guest, or if I was out, traveling for work or on vacation or something, I could hop on and quickly record a podcast. So this is a little bit of an interesting setup. Not exactly where I want to be quite yet. I do have some limitations with some of my equipment, so I'm using my laptop's front-facing camera to record today. Luckily, it should be recording in 1080p, so pretty good quality as far as video goes. And it's not the best lighting in here quite yet. Eventually, I'll probably have to get. You know what? I actually might have a light that I could use. Hold on. Okay, well, turns out that the light I was going to try to use doesn't work. So, yeah, eventually I would like to get a ring light and have a better camera setup. There's a few things that, with the mobile workstation haven't quite worked out. The only reason why this is working today is because I have a docking station for my laptop, which is a Microsoft Surface 7. And with the Microsoft Surface 7, one of my only complaints about it is that it doesn't have any way to connect anything besides a USB and a USB-C. So I need to get a docking station for it. At least a better one where I can connect an actual camera. The one that I take for photos would probably do the trick. It would be better quality than this webcam that I'm using. So yeah, eventually I would like to get that and like a ring light, whatever all the vloggers and TikTokers use these days. I mean, it's useful. So I'm not going to spend lots of money to get professional studio lighting because it's not something I really use, especially with photography. I'm more of a natural light guy. But like I talked about last episode, I am working on getting more content out more frequently and being consistent with it. So I wanted to hop on here. I don't have a lot of time to record this week, so I just wanted to do a little test video and see if this works out. See how the quality is and do a test run, essentially. Hopefully start doing video going forward. And so that brings me to topic number 1. Let's see. Like I said last episode, I want to start doing a recap. To recap the last couple of weeks since I released an episode. And last time I talked about how my wife and I would be hosting my family for Sunday Night Football for the Niners versus Cowboys. And it was a huge success all around. Because first of all, the Niners won 42-10. Sorry, Dallas Cowboys fans, but that was bad. I mean, I can't talk too much because last week the Niners lost to Cleveland. So, you win some, you lose some. It's the NFL and stuff happens. But I expect to see Dallas in the playoffs later this year. So the Niners can't sleep on them, and they got to bring their A game for that going forward. So, excuse me, I'm fighting a little bit of a sore throat. Not sure if it's because of the concert that I went to a couple of nights ago, but was that a couple of nights ago or was that last night? Was that 2 nights ago? I can't remember. Anyway, I'll talk about that in a sec. But yeah, like I was saying, the 49ers game was a huge success. I made carne asada tacos and elote in a cup, which has a specific name that my dad told me about, but I already forgot. So, everyone enjoyed the carne asada and the tacos. The salsa came out excellent. I used some tomatoes, jalapenos, serranos, and I think that's all I used from our garden. It was like the best salsa that I've made so far. Also, this setup is a little bit weird because I'm on my couch and I'm using my coffee table to have my laptop. So I'm kind of like hunched over. It's a little bit awkward, but I mean, that's what's going to happen with a mobile setup. It's not going to be perfect. So yeah, that anyway, getting sidetracked. Back to the game. My family enjoyed all the food that I made, and unfortunately, I ran out of carne asada because I used skirt steak, and it was crazy expensive. For almost, I think it was like 2 pounds that I got. It was almost $30, and there was no way I was going to buy another thing because I was already buying a bunch of stuff for the game. So, yeah, I ran out of meat, but luckily we had lots of corn and food that my family brought. So, yeah, it was a great time. The TV, I don't know if I've mentioned this on the podcast before, but our TV has issues where it sort of flickers sometimes, and it makes it hard to watch. And this TV is pretty new, so it's a little bit annoying. We'll never buy this brand of TV again. But luckily, it held up for the game. That's all I can ask for. So, yeah. Besides that, what else has happened in the last couple of weeks? Nothing too much. Just been working and some other stuff. If you don't already know, then you can hit me up or look me up on Instagram and figure out what's going on there. But yeah, I guess the other thing that I did was I went to a concert for the first time in a long time, and that was the Shinedown concert. I met up with my buddy Manuel. He's a good friend, and actually I really want to have him as a guest on the podcast sometime. We actually talked about it a little bit, so hopefully we'll be able to make that work. I know he's busy, and I'm really busy right now as well, so just adulting things. But we went to Shinedown, and Shinedown came with Papa Roach, which Papa Roach is awesome, especially live. I saw them live for the first time last year. They came with Hollywood Undead. My wife came with me, and she actually really enjoyed them too. So we knew they were going to put on a good show. And then they came with, what's the other band's name? Oh no. I've been forgetting what the other band's name is. Hold on. I think, Spirit Box. They came with Spirit Box, and I think I've heard a couple of Spirit Box songs, but seeing them live was actually pretty cool. I was kind of walking around during the set because I was trying to find merch, and merch lines were crazy long. And then I tried to meet up with Manuel. So from what I heard, they were really good. But Papa Roach killed it. And we had lawn seats at USANA. And me and Manuel were just kind of standing there during Papa Roach, and some random USANA worker came up and gave us 2 tickets to move up really close to, pretty close to stage, right behind the pit. So that was really cool. Shinedown put on a great show. I've seen them. This is the second time I've seen them, and this time it was way better than the last time they came, because I think last time they were having some technical issues, and so the sound wasn't quite the quality that it could have been, and so it wasn't great. But this time they absolutely killed it. And if you haven't seen Shinedown or Papa Roach live, I highly recommend it. Both bands have such an awesome energy to them, and they're great. Shinedown, yeah, some of their newer music I haven't been into as much, from their newest albums, but hearing those songs live, it's like, oh, okay, it's actually pretty legit. So I highly recommend going to see them. I mean, they're still on tour right now. I'm sure they'll be back eventually. So yeah, besides that, what kind of upcoming events do we have? Niners play on Monday Night Football this week against Minnesota. So that's going to be a good game. I think obviously the loss to Cleveland was a little bit rough. It was a bad game. It seemed like no one played good. Had a few injuries, and I was talking to a buddy, and he's actually a Cowboys fan. He said that the Niners kind of got screwed by the refs on that last drive, and in my opinion, I think you need to play better. I think you need to play good enough that the refs can't impact the game. Easier said than done, especially if you're playing against the Chiefs. Sorry, Chiefs fans, but come on. As long as Travis and Taylor are together, the NFL is going to rig games so that the Chiefs keep winning. Chiefs are probably going to be in the Super Bowl if this continues on. And Patrick Mahomes isn't even playing his best ball right now. I mean, Kelsey is distracted, and they don't have any wide receivers. So I don't know how they keep winning, but they're figuring it out. So I think this will be a good bounce back game for San Francisco. They've, in my opinion, they should hold out McCaffrey. I think Greenlaw, Trent Williams, Aaron Banks didn't practice today, but the Niners need to figure out how to win without a few of their key pieces, because there's no guarantee they're going to be there the whole season. So I think it'll be a good matchup. I wish Justin Jefferson was playing, because our corners need to face challenging receivers in order to get better, especially if they're going to be playing really good receivers in the playoffs. AJ Brown. The Eagles have 2 good wide receivers, and then washed up Julio Jones. So besides those 2 guys, Goddard, they don't have anyone besides those 2 receivers that I can think of. But there are teams that have some scary wide receivers especially in the AFC. Buffalo has Stephon Diggs. Miami has Tyreek and Waddle. So, yeah, Niners need to play better wide receivers in order to be tested and improve. But let's see, what else besides football? I'm not working my second job this weekend because we have stuff going on. One of my sister-in-laws, one of my sister-in-laws is moving out of Utah for a few months, so we're doing like a Thanksgiving, Halloween, Christmas party to celebrate, so the kids can all like have their own little mini celebration and stuff. So that'll be cool. And then after that, I guess we'll see what else is going on. There are definitely some more episodes that need to be made, and I'm just waiting to record them at the right time. So I think that's all I have today, honestly. Yeah, that's all I have. Thanks for listening. I know it's a little bit of a shorter episode, and it might be a little bit different than usual, especially if you can see me and you're on YouTube. Also, this microphone is really like a lot closer to the camera than I realized. So yeah, bear with me while I'm testing things out during this, with this podcast. Obviously, it's not where I want it to be quite yet, but I'm working on it, and eventually we'll get there. So one step at a time. And yeah, anyway, thank you for listening. This is Storytime with Chris.